So now we have a little skit prepared for you. In other contexts, we've actually done a mock region, but we decided to actually do a skit here. So welcome to the Mars region. Mars region is an 80% CBDM region. Mars region meets bi-monthly. Anything sent back to the areas can only be voted on by the RCMs. Everything else is open to all trusted servants. It's so nice to see that every NA area on Mars is represented today. Next slide, please. So where we are, we've gotten through most of our business and everything, but we did have a snafu on the minutes. So we're going to go back and review the minutes. So the minutes were sent out, and there was some comments on it. Sent out the minutes last week, got some changes and sent them back yesterday. Are there any further comments? And I see Cindy has a comment.
Yes, there's a typo on the date of the RD team's visit to the Crater Areas virtual meeting. That's supposed to be 2001 and not 2011.
Okay, 2021, not 2011. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Okay, so we'll fix it. Any more? Thank you, Angela. Any more comments? Okay, does anybody object to the minutes with Cindy's revision? All right, seeing no objections, the minutes are consented to. Okay, so now we have an old business proposal. At the last meeting, a proposal was sent back to the areas and groups for consideration. In this situation, only RCMs can vote. So let's take a quick straw poll. Okay, all in favor of this proposal? All right, I'm seeing mixed support, but not consensus, in favor or against. So let's open discussion. Wilvina, she is our PR chair. Wilvina, would you like to address the group, please? Wilvina, are you here?
Okay, yes, somebody just muted me again. Hi, my name's Wilvina. I'm an addict and I'm the Mars Public Relations Coordinator. So I want to speak to the proposal right now. I came into PR with no website, phone, or other technology, and I got those most needed services set up with help. The person following behind PR should not have to know technology, and those duties are more than enough to stand on their own.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? I see Mark, you have your hand raised. Let me unmute you.
Addict named Mark, Small Memphis area. We discussed this. We want some clarity as to what exactly are the tech duties.
Okay, Wilvina, can you answer that?
Yeah, okay, so the tech duties are website, our phone server, our meeting database, and support for all of those to our areas.
Thanks, Wilvina. That answers our question. I guess we can bring a vote in.
Okay. Sherry, you have your hands up. Would you like to comment?
I'm Sherry. I'm an addict from the Northern Highlands area. Area liked the idea, but we couldn't see creating a whole new committee that needed positions filled when we already have service positions here we need help with.
All right, Wilvina?
Yeah, actually, Sherry, what you need to know is that this is to create a single position, not an entire committee.
Oh, thanks, Wilvina. We misunderstood. Then, yeah, we would be in favor of this.
Yay.
Okay, thank you. Charles, you have your hand up here?
Same here. My area had the same concern. A single position would be fine for us.
Okay, so hearing that, does anyone else want to raise concerns or questions before we poll again? Okay, let's do a quick straw poll. Looks like we have consensus. but there are a couple who disagree. Would minority voice want to be heard on this? Kelly, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, Kelly, Central Valley, Marineris area. Of course, we all know the poorest area. We can't afford color cams or lighting, but my area voted no, but we really didn't discuss it much. We're a mining community, unatonium, but several dissenting GSRs later pulled me aside and said their groups wouldn't mind one way or another. We voted no, but I don't have any strong objections to this issue.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Quick straw poll. Okay, tech position has over 80% consensus support. We'll send out notices to fill this position at our next regional meeting. Thank you, everyone. Okay, turning on to new business. Next slide, please. We have three issues of new business. One, a new virtual area is seeking to join the Mars region. Two, there's a question as to whether we should add a donation link to the Mars regional website. And then another member has some thoughts about how to handle a group that's in violation of COVID Mars protocol. Okay, so let's turn to the first item. Next slide, please. All right, so Laura, would you like to introduce the new area?
Sure. I'm Laura and I'm an addict. I am the RCM from the new virtual area, Our Home on Mars. I would like to present the following topic. Our Home on Mars is a virtual area and would like to join the Mars region. We have been collecting a seventh tradition for the past 2 months. We have an electronic financial account through Venmo. We've attended Mars region 3 times. We've donated to Mars region twice. We also purchased our online platform through Zoom subscription. We have 14 meetings, 2 per day. We do have a policy in place and all our positions are filled. We have a chair, we have a co-chair, an RCM, treasurer, we have a secretary, an H&I chair, and even a PR chair. So we're ready to go.
Okay, thank you, Laura. So let's take a straw poll. The new business RCMs and trusted servants may vote. First straw poll shows near consensus, but there are a couple of concerns. Kelly, would you like to talk? You're muted. Okay.
Yeah, that's consistent with the region censoring the voice of the Central Valley Marinara area. So yeah, we absolutely are terrified at this idea. Since this proposal came up, some of our members have attended a few of these meetings, and they've noticed that there is a majority of Earth people attending these meetings. And we believe that this is an end run of the Galactic Service Committee Board of Directors trying to take over the Mars region. This is not going to be the first virtual area. I mean, it only takes 3 groups to be an area, right? So we believe that there's this plan to create more virtual areas until there's more virtual areas than real areas, and they're going to completely start making decisions that affect Mars. We live here, right? We live here, we bleed here, we sweat, we work, but most of these people that are attending these meetings don't, they're from Earth, they're air breathers, right? They don't care about us, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, right? We all know that Laura's sponsor is the vice chair of the Intergalactic Board of Directors.
Oh,
right, and there's major concerns that this is a plan of something that really concerns us. And the last thing I'll say, and this, this absolutely needs to go back to, this information needs to go back to the groups that they're not reading from our current literature. Okay, they're reading from the 8th edition, and we all know the 11th edition is the latest approved edition of our basic text. So I think that a lot more needs to be done to investigate this. We don't even have policy that provides any kind of guidelines on a virtual area, and we're just very concerned that this is going to make Mars just disappear completely as a region.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. I see Cindy, you have you had a concern. Did you want to speak?
Yes, please. Hi, Addict Cindy, RD from the Mars region. So thank you, Laura, for your information and such a fabulous report. Besides, I heard you talk about the financial contributions that the area was making to the region. Is there anything else that you feel the area can bring to the Mars region?
Okay, so Laura, why don't you go ahead and respond to Kelly and Cindy?
Okay, as far as Kelly brought up a lot of concerns, and I can tell you we are, our groups are completely autonomous. So we are working, with our traditions and our concepts. We are following them, and so we are also utilizing our NA literature. And I don't know where you got your information from, but we are, utilizing the same information you are. We're just asking to be part of the region. And then Cindy, as far as I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? There's a lot of information coming out here. I'm like trying to see which do I want to answer first, because we're just trying to be part of the region.
Right. Thank you, Laura. No problem. We understand. So I was just asking what value your area and what else your area could bring to the region besides just your financial contributions. What do you think that you have that will help our region?
Great question. And we are willing to bring some virtual events. We're hoping to do virtual H&I, and hoping to reach a still suffering addict, especially through our virtual presence. Right now it is more important. It's just trying to go to greater lengths to reach a still suffering addict. And we think we can do that having a virtual presence even further than what we've been doing in the past. So, we can work together and hopefully just be better.
Okay, thanks, Laura. So seeing no further comments, let's take another quick straw poll. Show of hands. Okay, we still are at 80% consensus. Kelly, you're the only one disagreeing. Did you want to offer further comments?
Well, again, we're the poorest region, so no one really cares what our point of view or what we say. We're not giving money like this new area is doing. But I guess, if members, groups in my area, again, are very concerned with the disproportionate population of the attendance. And so you've listed all these subcommittees and service committees, and this is Mars, right? Mars. Can you tell us how many members are actually in this virtual area citizens of Earth?
Okay. Well, I don't think that is really a valid question because, the only requirement for membership is a desire to not use, in our service committees. I mean, all it requires is willingness, and it doesn't discriminate against who's from where. We all belong because we say we do.
So you don't want to answer the question.
Well, I don't think it has relevance, especially if we're following our traditions.
So once again, Central Valley Mariners is, the minority in trying to provide common sense to service, and so we will be muted and silenced as typical that happens here all the time.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Kelly. I think we have given you the opportunity here, but you did make a suggestion to send this back to the areas. Let's see if there's a consensus that we should do this. Do other areas have an authority really to approve an area? Joining the region is the question. So let me see if there's a consensus to send this back to the area. And show of hands on that one. And no one except you seems to want to send it back to the area. So
that's typical.
So why don't we just congratulate our new virtual area?
Ooh.
Yay, we have a new virtual area. Thank you so much. Okay. So now next topic is a topic really by our treasurer. So why don't I turn it over to Bruce?
Thank you, Louis. I'm Bruce. I'm an addict.
Hey, Bruce.
I'm sorry I was so late. That short rail system always has the mechanicals. It breaks down. It's dirty. There's protests going on. I had trouble just getting to a communication link. So I'm sorry I'm late. However, we've got some very, very serious issues that all have to do with how are we going to continue to finance our existing operations as well as being able to move forward, helping the addict who is still suffering in and out of our rooms. In other words, what's happening is previously we had a great deal of revenue, not from Seventh Tradition donations, which most people who haven't read our annual report, and I really strongly recommend that everyone does, you'll see that it comes back from literature sales. And I'll give you a very good example. I was at a virtual meeting just last night. And it was an IP meeting. And so IPs, I don't know, about 25 people. Interesting, I'd say that the average age was 25 as well. And that kind of gets to my point. And that is, it was an IP meeting. We only had about 5 IPs to go around to 25 people. And what happened? And this shocked me. People just took out their communication devices and pulled up that IP. They didn't buy it. As a result, our region is not generating sufficient revenues because of a lack of literature sales. There's no revenue being generated. There's no easy way to make a Seventh Tradition donation. I'm really worried. My position simply is we have to have sufficient funds to fund our operation. If we don't, we have to cut back. And that's my responsibility. I'll get further protests. I'll get those terrible calls at home. When I volunteered for the service position, this wasn't explained to me that it would be like this difficult. I was told you get the left side, making sure that it's the right side, and that it's all equal. Well, it's not equal. We need to do something about it, and I'm nervous.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. Show of hands. I see Craig. Did you want to comment?
Sure. I'm an addict named Craig, and I'm just a concerned member from the Crater area. And don't get that confused, Kelly, with the Craton area. We're south. We're in the southern part of Mars. So keep that straight, Kelly. I don't know you very well, but I'm a concerned member, and I appreciate the opportunity. And yes, my home group has a PayPal account. It seems to work very well. And if you guys want to contribute, I'll give you the PayPal information, and you can help. But it works very well.
All right, another hand, Mark. Did you want to address this? Let me unmute you. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm unmuted now. Okay, Small Mills area, addict named Mark. We have Zelle. We got PayPal. We got a Cash App and Venmo. We serious about getting our money. So I propose we set up something with one of them, or not all of them.
Okay, thank you. So let's just take a quick straw poll. Mark has made a proposal that we do set something up. General support, but no consensus. Kelly, did you want to say something?
I'll try. Kelly Addict. I think as a money matter, significant impact on money matter, this should at least go back to the groups. I would have concerns that, traditionally when I put money in the basket, nobody knows what I'm putting in the basket unless you're sitting next to me and you're bird dogging my fucking hand or whatever when I'm putting the money in. But with this setup, especially with our new golden virtual area, that we're going to see names of people that are contributing, and then there's going to be a top 10 donor list out there, people who are contributing, and there's possibility of those people having an influence on oh my goodness, decisions that are affecting our region, like admitting a new virtual area. These people are gonna know, oh, these people are given 1,000 credits a month to the area. Ooh, we better listen to what they have to say.
Okay, thank you. Leah, did you want to say something?
Sure. I would second it going back to the area, just because I don't think that we should be changing where our funding comes from. If we have one way of doing things and we want to change it, that's fine. However, we serve our members, and our members speak to us through our areas, so we should go back and ask them.
Thanks, Leah. I'm sure the Rock Canyon area appreciates that. Cindy, would you like to say something?
Sure, Addict Cindy, RD. So I do think this probably should go back to the areas and the groups. It is concerning our money, and we do want to make sure that we're accountable and transparent with how we're handling our funds. But I think we should send it more than just yes or no. Do you want this? I think we should send more information about what kind of a different account or how that would work and what you would see, and some more information other than just yes or no, because they're going to have a lot of questions, and we could be back here again talking about the same thing for the next 4 meetings. So providing them more information would probably help to make the decision.
Okay, thank you. Craig, did you want to say something again?
Did you call on me, Louis, sir?
Yeah. Did you want to say something?
Well, look, I agree with what Cindy just said, and that sounds like a good idea to me, and what Leah said as well.
Okay, thank you, Craig. So, Bruce, could you develop something just to illustrate what it is?
Yes, I'm Bruce. I'm an addict. A couple of things. I did raise my hand, but apparently I got looked over again. And yes, I'm nervous. So you'll have to forgive me, but this is a tough position. You can make donations private, okay? There's no concern about a top 10 list. unless David Letterman's on, and I haven't seen him for 20 years. Second thing, I could certainly come up with a proposal. It would include a variety of ways that we could set up a very simple button. You press it, the funds go from your account to Region's account. That's not the problem. One concern that was mentioned is that, and I think that was Mid-City, Mark mentioned that they have 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 different ways to contribute, and I respect that type of way to generate money. I like that. So I'd be in favor of more, not less, but the proposal that we can come up with, and we can do it for next meeting, can have anything from 1 or 2 to 4 or 5, and people can make a decision. But there's a very important but here. If we're not going to come up with a decision today, we're not going to have enough money to fund H&I for the next month until the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Dennis, our facilitator alternate, did you want to say something?
Sure. Just in hearing the wanting to send this back to areas, but also wanting something more tangible. Bruce, would you be willing to work with Craig and I to maybe start with a PayPal? We'll pick one, and PayPal has been mentioned as one that's already actively working with another area or group. Let's get together and put together a private prototype that our areas and groups can try out and bring back a report on the ins and outs of how that'll work and what that'll look like, but it won't be publicly accessible. Would you be willing to work with us on that across between now and the next meeting?
Well, I'm somewhat reluctant because I end up doing all the work in these.
I will fully support you in this one.
If you do, okay, and I know you have the willingness. Do you also, and I respect, your service work, but will you be able to help on the financial side and setting up cash flows and income statements to provide our members?
I'm confident between you, me, and Craig that we can make this happen without being an undue burden on any one of us. I will commit whatever I need. This is an important topic, and I will help however I need to.
Okay, so I'm hearing that there's a proposal to develop a prototype. Should we send that back to the areas right now, or do you want to come back here and talk about it first and then send it back? Let's do a show of hands. Should we send it back to the areas as it's developed, or so yes or no on that?
Well, Louis, this is Mark. I agree with my proposal, of course, but I disagree with sending it back to the areas and to the meetings. I believe that as trusted service, they trust us to make these decisions, that we don't continuously send things back to the groups, especially. I mean, it ties the group up. So I think while I advocate for the proposal, I don't think it needs to go back to the areas or to the groups.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So I'm showing us a general lack of consensus. Let's do a quick show of hands. Do we first need to send something back to the groups? And I'm seeing a consensus that we do on that, Mark. So then the next question is, should we develop something in 2 months, decide on it to send it back to the groups? Let's see a show of hands on that. And I'm seeing consensus on that as well. So that's what we'll do. Why don't Dennis, Craig, and Bruce and Mark, if you can help, develop a prototype, and then we can have it at our next meeting and send it back to the groups.
Absolutely.
So deal with it that way. Okay, very good. Okay, Kelly, did you have any last thing you wanted to say on that?
Well, obviously not. So fine.
Okay. Next topic we have. Okay, an area is seeking guidance on how to deal with a group that is violating in person in a clubhouse. but is violating the clubhouse's COVID Mars capacity limits, mask requirements, and social distancing rules. I'd like to call on Charles.
Hi, my name is Charles, good for recovering addict, RCM from South Highlands area. We're struggling with a group that is violating the COVID Mars regulations. They're meeting in a clubhouse and violating that clubhouse's requirements. They're over capacity. People are not wearing face masks, and social distancing is definitely not being enforced. We've reached out to the group on social media, and the members claim that the Ford tradition says it is okay and we should mind our own damn business. Does anyone else have any guidance they could share?
Okay, thank you. Mark, you've got your hand up.
Okay, Mark, addict, once again, Small Milkers area. We're kind of like a new area based, looking at the rest of you, we're about 11 years in existence, so we've had a lot of issues that come up when this, in reference to the second tradition in the group conscious. We've had people come in, a newcomer comes in with his grandmother, and people wanting to change the format to let grandmother stay, and we've had to put grandmama out of there. So we kind of adhere to the group conscious a lot. So we have our own facility, but the city of Chicago doesn't allow over 25 people into a facility at one time. So we had another group conscious, which developed the COVID-19 format. So we're max at 25 people. And if someone comes after that, well, they're not allowed in. Now, we do have an exception for the newcomer. If the newcomer shows up, we have someone in the group to leave and give them that spot. So far, that's only happened once or twice, and it worked out well. In reference to not wearing a mask or social distancing, trusted service will ask you to leave, and if you don't comply, we will physically remove you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Laura, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'm Laura and I'm an addict. I'm an RCM from our home on Mars. Guess what? We're virtual. We don't have that problem. So, anybody else want to be virtual?
Okay. Leah, you have your hand up?
Yeah, that's how it starts.
We RCM, the Rock Canyon group, and I do think it is an autonomy thing where you can't go in. We don't dictate to the groups. We serve the groups, and I don't know if it's serving the groups to go in and with a hammer or anything, but sometimes just talking to them and letting them know that, hey, this is a problem. In addition, you can say you're violating the clubhouse rules, you're violating this, you're violating that. However, you can also go to them and just say, how would you feel if the newcomer walked in today and had COVID next week because they were in a crowded room? Is that what you want to, give our newcomers, and just see how that goes? But it's totally a fourth tradition thing. We can't dictate to them.
All right, thanks, Leah. Kelly.
Kelly addict. We have the shortest friggin' memory, right? Did we all forget about the Floss in Paradise group, right? The bisexual meeting, and what a fucking disaster that was, right? It's like what they say here on Mars, right? You're free to breathe the air, but there's no period, right? There's a comma, as long as you're wearing an exosuit, right? So the fourth tradition says, each group's autonomous, and some people think there's a period there. No, there's a comma, except in matters affecting other groups as a whole. Absolutely, this meeting needs to be taken off the list today.
Okay, I'm looking around the room. I'm seeing some nods of support there, some opponents there. Would anyone like to comment further? Des, you have your hand up.
Well, I do, but I think that Craig has his hand up before me.
Oh, he does.
I just want to be fair to the member from my area.
Craig.
Thank you, Des. My area comrade from the crater area. I know we rock in the crater area. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Facilitator, I just wanted to go on record as I agree with Kelly, that guy named Kelly. And that is not very often. So I just wanted to make sure he heard that and everybody else put that on the record, that I agree with Kelly.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Sorry for missing your hand. I've As anyone knows me knows, I am not good with seeing hands raised. Okay. Des, did you want to say something?
I did actually, and thank you so much for calling on me. I'm also a concerned member from the Crater area. We love the Crater member area. Come visit us, please. So my area had a problem, and Craig will remember this, and we have this really amazing group outreach committee, and they went and talked directly to the group with love and care, kind of explained some stuff, and it helped in a really big way. We like went directly to the individuals who were having some questions on how to proceed, and just needed some gentle, loving kindness, some explanations. And Charles, I'm 100% sure that our outreach committee would like to help you if you want me to have them reach out to you or your groups.
Okay, I know that Leah was saying similar stuff. Charles, are you okay with that?
That sounds great to me.
Okay, so we have had further suggestions since Kelly's suggestion, in that really maybe we should let Des and her area committee go to or help the group out. Kelly, how are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, we love our outreach, loving air quote committee. Yeah, we do. We have huge success with that too.
Okay, so we've discussed this matter. A suggestion was offered but later withdrawn. There's not a decision made, so let's move on. Okay, I am Lewis and I'm an addict. That is the end of our little skit.